Hi class, how are you today? Just want to let you know if you haven't signed up for Seesaw app yet, could you please do that? The code expires like every hour, so if you need to email me, I can send you the code. We are going to start our first lesson today. So lesson one, we've got Abigail waving to you, sorry. Lesson one is going to be about cubic functions. And really, all week we're focusing on cubic functions. So, lesson one, two, and three will kind of tie into each other. So, a cubic function, its parent function, and remember, a parent function is the simplest of its family. So, a cubic function is a family of cubics, and the most simple will be y equals x cubed. And so we're going to base a lot of the lessons off the parent function. And in fact, at the end of the week, when you do lesson three, we're going to see how it transforms and moves the function. So if we just graph the parent function here, you're going to notice that if I plug 1 in, I'm going to get 1 times 1 times 1, which will give me the point 1 comma 1. Okay? But if I put a 2 in, I'm going to have 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And you'll see that it goes up quite a bit. Okay? So from here, we go 2 comma 8. All right? So it starts off kind of small, but then it gets really steep. So that's what happens with cubics. It's going to happen the same way when we add a negative into the function. So if I put a negative in for x, right, it's going to also get exponentially. We want to talk about in lesson one domain and range and key features. So key features are just kind of what the graph looks like, how it has intercepts, and kind of what the graph is doing. And then domain and range is pretty easy for cubics because as long as the arrows keep going, our domain and range are both all real numbers. And we'll see that here in the graph. So as I put an x value in, right, if it's positive, I'm going to get a positive number coming out. So my domain then is going to keep going. I can have negatives keep going, and I can have positives that keep going. So my domain here is all real numbers. And remember, we've got the fancy R to do that. My range is also the same. So my range for a normal cubic, it's going to also keep going up, and it's going to keep going down. So I also have all real numbers. So majority of the time, your domain and range for cubic functions are going to be all real numbers unless there's a stopping point. Then you'll just have to see where the stopping point is. For the key features, I want to bring up, this is the parent function, but as we do transformations in lesson 3, you'll see that we get kind of this equation. Okay, so we have an A, B, C, and D. This is one form. The D value, which is our constant, is always going to be our y-intercept. So that's kind of interesting that this is our y-intercept. When we do transformations, though, we usually see it in vertex form, which is very similar to vertex form in quadratics. And so for vertex form, we get y equals, we're going to have an A on the outside, x minus h, but we're going to have cubed plus k, okay? So we're going to use this a lot in lesson 3 when we're finding out, well, how can I move the parent function? What does A do? What does H do? And what does K do? Well, we know that the H and the K move the vertex. So right now with the parent function, my vertex is 0, 0. As we move H and K, it's going to move it up and down. Okay. The A value, we'll learn later that it moves it wider or skinnier and things like that. Very similar to quadratics. So for lesson 1, sorry, my daughter. For lesson 1, you want to just make sure that you're focusing on domain and range. You're looking at the key features as you're graphing, and you're just practicing how to graph these. We're going to get into more detail in lesson 3 about, well, how does changing the A, B, C, and D move your function. Hopefully I don't have a little munchkin every time I do your lessons. Again, if you have questions, Seesaw seems to be the easiest because you can send me a video and I can send one back. But Google Classroom is still an option, and email. I hope you and your family are doing well. It's been nice to hear your videos so far. Those of you that have sent it in already, it's kind of nice to hear what's going on with you guys. I hope this helps, and then we will get lesson 2 and 3 up as well. I will talk to you later.